All right, I think we are going live. This is my first time going live in this group, so I'm super, super excited to be here. My name is Liza Lomax. I did do an interview with Dawn a little bit ago, but I'll go over a little bit about what I do. So, I'm an emotional eating specialist. So, I help women in the battle with emotional eating love what they see in the mirror and finally lose weight. Stop staying in that round hamster wheel that we keep ourselves trapped on. So, a little bit about me. I struggled immensely with emotional eating growing up. I suffered from two EDs, two eating disorders. And, I've been on one end of the spectrum and the other. I've been a size 2 and I've been a size 22. And it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, we all have emotional eating struggles. And when I say all of us do, I truly believe all of us have some form of emotional eating. We all turn to food to fill our bodies so we don't feel an emotion. Now, this is due to a lot of the programming growing up, those limiting beliefs, those behaviors, those habits, those stories that we've essentially created and we've taken on as our own, that have come to haunt us in our adulthood. So, emotional eating, what is emotional eating? Emotional eating is, again, when we turn to a food item, we don't want to feel an emotion. And why do we not want to feel that emotion? It can be whatever reason, whatever's going on in our environment, in our society. With COVID right now, that's a huge thing for people to turn to, is food. Food is always there. Food is available. Food is ready available. You can get it when you want it, where you want it, however much you want it, all the time, 24 hours a day you can get food. So it's always there. So it's a huge addiction that we have. And the reason why I say is everybody struggles with emotional eating is there's a few key points. One, when we are children, we are told that we have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way. We're given all these rules, all these regulations per se on how to live our lives based on society, based on our parenting, based our parents, how they raised us. We can't blame our parents and we can't blame our parents' parents. That's the only way they knew how to raise us. So it's up to us to okay, well, these things aren't working for me anymore. How do I fix them? How do I fix those beliefs? How do I fix those mindsets? So, we learn that we can't be emotional. We heard things like, I'll give you something to cry about, or don't cry. You are wimpy if you cry, if you show your emotions. And so we learn to push our emotions down. People that identify as male, they say, you have to be tough, you have to be strong, you have to, you can't show your emotions, you got to be really tough. And so learn to push them down. Women is like, okay, well, can't be emotional. You might be construed as something else. You can't be emotional, so don't show your emotions. And so we learn to push our emotions down like that. We also learn that it's selfish to take care of ourselves. To take care of ourselves. We learn it's selfish. We know that it's not selfish. It's very much self-preservation, but that is also a limiting belief we learn as a child, is that it's selfish to take care of ourselves. Our wants, our needs, our desires always go on the back burner. And we take care of everybody else around us. Everybody else around us we have to take care of. We can't take care of ourselves. Oh, that's selfish. It's another thing. Then with emotional eating, how that all comes into play is most people come from two different types of backgrounds. You either come from a place of abundance or a place of lack. So if you came from a place of abundance, food was always there. It was always available. You could have whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, however much you wanted, all the time, 24 hours a day if you wanted to. So you learn those unhealthy eating habits that way. You could eat whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, however much you wanted. So you just kept eating and eating and eating. So you learn those unhealthy eating habits that way. Or you came from a place of lack, where whatever's put on a dinner table, you better get there, you better be there, you better get there to eat that, because if you didn't get there, you didn't get any food and you didn't know when your next meal was going to come. So you got to the dinner table and you learn those unhealthy eating habits that way. So we learn two different, it doesn't matter, like I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. So it doesn't matter whether you came from a place of abundance or a place of lack, you still developed unhealthy eating habits. All of us develop these eating habits. We also, you know, we also rewarded ourselves for food items. So say, you're younger and you got an A on report card, and your parents are like, oh, let's go have some ice cream. You got an A on your report card. So we reward you with food. Or the other way, oh, you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Oh, let's go get some ice cream. So we learn those unhealthy habits that way too. So both ways we learn that, like, any emotion that we're feeling, any emotion that's coming onto us, coming to us, we learn to combat it with food. Oh, let's go get some ice cream. That'll make you happy. Oh, let's go get some ice cream, because you're not feeling very happy. We go out to a party. It doesn't matter where pre-COVID, of course, but you go out to a party and, you get to eat cake and cupcakes and whatever food is there and however much you wanted. And you're just so excited you get to eat all this food. And then what happens is you go home and then you start to put yourself down. And then you have the guilt and shame. And then that raises your stress and anxiety levels. And then that raises your cortisol levels, which then creates fat in the midsection and everywhere else. So it's no wonder we're staying on this merry-go-round or this hamster wheel going around and around and around with all of these mindsets and these beliefs about things. So whether you're happy or whether you're sad, whether you're depressed, whether you're angry, we all turn to food. We turn to food to fill our bodies so we don't feel that emotion. We want to push them down. We don't want to feel them. It'd be better if you felt them and you released them and you let them go, and instead of holding on to these things. I did this for years. I held on to so much toxicity, so much, just disastrous things in my life. I held on to them for so long. And I turned to food. Food was always there. It was like, oh, well, food makes me happy. Food's security. Food's stability. So I would literally go to one place after another, after another, and after another. I'd go grocery shopping. I'd buy all these junk food items and all this food, and then I'd get home and I'd eat it all. And then I had guilt and shame about it. And I stayed on this continuing cycle going around and around and around. How many other people out there stay on this same cycle? And then you wonder why you can't lose weight. You wonder why you yo-yo diet. You wonder why you have all these issues. You wonder why you have these limiting beliefs and these behaviors and habits that you can't solve, you can't replace, you can't fix. So, again, you could have the best, nutrition program, you could have the best exercise program out there, but if you're not changing up here, nothing's going to change. You're going to still have those eating habits. You're going to still keep staying in that hamster wheel. You're going to still keep going around and around and around, losing and gaining those 5 to 10, 20, 35, whatever pounds over and over again. And then, what did we have just recently? We had this huge catastrophic thing that happened to all of us last year, which sent a lot of us into like emotion city, where we didn't want to feel anything, where we didn't want to feel nothing. It's like, oh, we can't feel this. This is like, this is not good. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm scared. I'm afraid. I don't know what's going on. And we all went through this huge situation, and we still are going through this huge thing. So a lot of us are dealing with that by eating. Food is the number one addictive thing that there is. And it's always there, and it's always available. And we can have as much as we want, when we want, however much we want, 24 hours a day. It's always there. It always brings us comfort and security and whatever else it brings us. But then we eat it, and then we turn around and we put ourselves down, and we have the guilt and the shame. And we stay in this cycle round and round. Who wants to stay in that cycle? Who wants to keep continuing this eating and eating and eating and eating and eating? Who wants to do that? Nobody. Nobody wants to stay in that space. So there are ways that you can, stop the emotional eating and combat it in some way. There's different ways and different techniques that you can utilize. I mean, finding other healthy emotional outlets you can go to is a big thing. When you feel the urge to go to the refrigerator, or feel the urge to go to that cupboard or that drawer or wherever you have that stuff at, to find a different way to deter your mind to going to something else. Or don't even bring those food items in the house. Don't even bring them in the house. And there's also, you can learn to meal prep, have your meals prepped and ready to go. So I just gave you 3 really good tips, that you can utilize to help you a little bit, maybe get on the straight and narrow, going the right path. And then I encourage you to reach out to me. I'll post my social media links on this post under this video, and I really appreciate you letting me come on and share today. And everybody take care and have a beautiful day.